Some of you saw the card tricks. How many of you seen my card tricks? How many of you seen the new version of the card tricks where there is a sound also involved? Very good. How many of you have seen the card trick with the new version where the light is also involved? That is still to come. The next version will include the sound and light. It is symbolic. I am using a special gadget to generate the kind of light that is needed for the card trick. So the sound is simple, that we just clap, right? Instead of clapping with the hand, we clap with the cards. But still, it's just a symbolic message of the importance of sound in our life. It's also an important message about light, because ultimately, when we meditate, there are only two things that really matter, at least in the beginning: the sound and the light. In the beginning, the sound is of our own mind, the sound of words, the sound of mantra, the sound of repetition of words in our own head. But the attention on the sound makes a biggest difference. Supposing when you are repeating the words of mantra, the words of Simran in your head, and you think you are repeating them, you will notice a strange phenomenon. When you think you are repeating those words, your mind runs all over the world and thinks of everything else. Therefore, your repetition of the words is a mechanical exercise. The mind delegates to a small fraction of itself, and the rest of it thinks of all the other things it has to do and have not done, and so on. Therefore, the purpose of that repetition is defeated, because the repetition is no longer helping us to concentrate our attention behind the eyes. We are still scattering our attention all over the world, and we think we are doing good meditation. Nothing happens. Then we wonder why we are making no progress. We've been meditating for so long. Well, we were not really meditating in the way we are required to. The sound is supposed to be used to draw our attention to it, not to be used for some magical words being repeated. And the mind can go anywhere and the attention can wander everywhere it likes. Therefore, the best way of listening to the sound of words, spoken words in the head, is to make your mind speak the words and not you. So the mind that is running and thinking of other things itself is converted to repeat the words. When you close your eyes and sit in meditation, and you see the mind is now started thinking of something else, immediately pull back. Say, better start doing the words. And when you instruct the mind to repeat the words, what position do you take? A listener. You become the listener. The best use of Simran, repetition of words, is when you can make the mind repeat the words and you become a listener inside and listen to how the mind is speaking. In what intonation? How does it say the words? How slowly or fast, quickly it's speaking? Can you control the mind? Do it slowly, do it fast, give instructions. Let the mind not think of anything else except the repetition of the words, and you do nothing else except listen to them. Because you will realize, if you meditate, that the mind is always the speaker in our head. The soul is always the listener. And therefore, by becoming the listener, you stop your identification with the mind. You begin to separate yourself and realize you have never been the mind. What's going on? Then the mind gets trained, and that is the way to do the Simran, or listening to the Varanatmak words, the spoken words. Step 1. Now what is step 2? Step 2 is a natural sound will come inside. Your mind does not have to create it by repeating words. The natural sounds can be sound of roar of the water, waterfall. It can be sound like a cricket sound, chirping of birds, and thunder. It can be various kinds of different sounds that will come up, and some of them may be totally physical sounds. For example, depending on how you are closing your ears, you could be hearing your own pulse rate and hear the beat of the heart. You could be hearing the breathing of your own lungs. As they breathe in and out, you can hear it. So those are simple sounds, but doesn't matter. If you are seated behind the eyes and listen to any sound, it's a good practice. Just a practice. It has no power to pull you anywhere, but it gives you a practice that what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to be a listener. Later on, the sounds will change. They change because your attention is being pulled in. You'll find the more your attention is pulled in, the more the sound changes into a new kind of melody, very soft, as coming from a distance. Sounds of bells ringing far away. The sound that we hear naturally, it's a natural sound. Nobody planted into us. They are not words. Nobody spoke them. Nobody ever created them. They occur naturally in you, and they represent the sound of your own consciousness. Don't forget that when you are conscious and aware of things, how are you aware? What is the true nature of consciousness? We are always concerned with what we are conscious of. I am seeing you, you're seeing me, you hear the talk, you see the table, you see these things. These are all visual perceptions which make you aware. How does awareness work? What's the secret that makes you conscious? What's the secret? Does it exist by itself? Can you go back into a position where you want to see what is consciousness itself? When you try to find that, you find consciousness has its own manifestation in the form of a resonance, of some kind of a music. And that music is not like the ordinary music. It is very soft, gentle, does not hurt, nothing shrill about it. And yet it can become very loud. It can go like there's one sound close to me, another sound behind it, then we can see some sound from bells ringing far away. And we can't know where they're ringing from, but if we try to listen, we can be selective and we can select which sound we want. So when you see that the practice sounds are being overtaken by other sounds coming and you put your attention on them, you can select which sound you want. When you get the sound of the bells, that's the point to make a selection. Then forget all the practice sounds and the fine melodious bells that are ringing at a distance. Try to listen to them. As you listen, they still look to be very far away, coming from far, a little louder, becoming louder. If you move towards the sound in order to hear it loudly, the sound disappears, becomes less, unlike the worldly sounds. In the worldly sounds, if a sound source is known to you and you move towards it, the sound becomes louder. Here is a sound, every time you try to move towards it, the sound becomes dim and becomes less. So you remain away from the sound. And when you remain away from what you consider is the center of your head, the sound becomes stronger, thereby showing that the sound is not coming from anywhere outside. We are used to listening to sound outside, therefore we are thinking it is coming from outside. It is coming from exactly where we are located, but its nature is different, therefore it looks like mild sound from a distance and then it becomes loud. So long as you stay in the center, the sound becomes stronger. That sound is the first sound out of all 10, 12 sounds that we can identify in our meditation that can be heard but has no pull. The bell sound is the first sound. When it becomes a big bell sound, it pulls your attention automatically and you don't have to do anything. Meditation becomes automatic and natural. That sound itself has the effect of pulling you. All you have to do is listen. So long as you listen, you are pulled to the center and you are pulled to different levels. You try hard with repetition of words to vacate your body from your attention and move to the head with the sound, there is no hard work required at all. You relax and listen, and you don't know where your body is. It pulls so fast. So that's the beginning of the true practice of sound current. This particular system of discovering yourself through the sound has been called Surt Shabd Yoga in India. Surt means attention, Shabd means sound, Yoga means union. So this is the union of your own total self through the use of attention upon sound. That's the secret, to use your attention upon the sound. It takes little practice to identify what that bell sound is like and to be able to pick it up out of various sounds. If you don't select that sound and you just keep on listening to any sound, you can be listening for many years and make no progress spiritually. Spiritual progress comes when you are able to pick up that sound which has the power to pull you, and then you're drawn quickly. If you are drawn too quickly, it can frighten you if you haven't practiced it enough, because you feel you are like dying. You feel you're just dying, and then you run from there. Sometimes one doesn't want to do meditation anymore because you're afraid. This was almost that I was going to die. I didn't know my body was breathing or not, my heart was moving or not. I had no knowledge of this, and I don't know where I was. So therefore, the mystics have always taken care to say that do it gradually. Don't try to jump into it. Don't be impatient. On the spiritual path, impatience has no place. And the mental games we play, the impatience is everything. I am impatient to get something quickly. Master, why can't I get it right now? Why can't I get it now? If you got it right now, you'll be afraid of it. You may not never do it. So slowly and slowly, as you pick up the experience, and on a daily basis you get little more. That's a much better way of having these experiences. But once this experience starts, it pulls you into an automatic pull into higher level of consciousness. The first step, of course, is that you discover that this body virtually disappears from your awareness and a new body appears, because you still are there. And if you are there, what body do you have? So you look around and you find you have a body same like this body. Little difference is there. It's very light. It doesn't, there's no weight at all. It's a weightless body. You can, because it is weightless, you can fly, jump up high, fly into the sky. And it's nice in the beginning to have these experiences and see that there is just you are one step away from a reality in which you can do those things, and you never experimented. So you're sitting outside in a heavy body, all drawn by gravity and pulled down here and made us into earthlings instead of being heavenlings. So there you become heavenlings instead of earthlings. And you can then see what heaven is like. That with that kind of pace of movement, you can move very fast and you can explore things. You can go at top speeds, about 1,000 miles an hour, or maybe a little more. But you don't go at the speed of light. That is left to the next stage. In the causal stage, you go faster than the velocity of light. There your body changes shape completely. It's no longer resembling this one. In the astral plane, which is the first level, the body is very similar to this. It has sense perceptions like this. The causal state, you don't have that kind of body, nor the perceptions are like that. Perceptions are direct. That means you see, touch, taste something at once, not separately. It's a different kind of experience. But there, if you want to travel, you can travel at the speed of thought, which is much faster than even the speed of light. So speed of light, thought goes, you think and you are there. It's as fast as that. Doesn't matter how far. So therefore you can explore galaxies, you can explore this world, you can explore several other universes that have been created. It's a great experience to see that what we think is creation is a very, very small fraction of total creation. The bigger part of creation is not here. It's not even the physical plane. This planet is a very small thing compared to even this creation. Even the several billion galaxies that exist in the physical plane And out of the galaxies, we are just in one solar system on one small planet. And we think it's a huge world we are living in. it's like a little ant crawling in an ant hole and thinking that is the whole world. We are like that. But once you have that experience in meditation and you explore that the world is much bigger than this, it's fascinating. It depends on your level of curiosity. I personally have been a very curious person, so I have always thought that it's nice to investigate what all is there. Some people are not so curious, they just want to go home. But I don't mind spending time examining different opportunities that come on our way in meditation. So meditation gives you experiences that nothing else can. But it has to be correct meditation. Meditation that draws your attention within yourself. You have to be able to practice that. Therefore, how many of you are initiated and have a mantra to repeat? Please raise your hands. Okay. Now we are going to do a little session of meditation so that you understand what I'm talking about. Because I don't want you to think that I only talk the talk. I also do walk the walk. Okay. So that is why it's important to have some meditational sessions. Now, in this session, I would like you to repeat the words that you have learned. But for a change, do not repeat the words mechanically, like a parrot. Listen to the words you are repeating with full concentration. To do that, you have to repeat the words very slowly, seeing every symbol of it, seeing every syllable of it. How do you say it? What's the intonation? Is that your voice? Have you heard the voice of your mind? Do you know what the voice of the mind is? Have you seen that the mind can have many voices? And if it is tired of one voice, it can create an image of another person who talks to you. And if maybe a man can see a woman talking and become a feminine voice. A woman can see a man talking, becomes a masculine voice. These experiments are going on, but you concentrate on saying what kind of voice is this? What words are these? Do they have a meaning or not? That means all thoughts should be about those words that you have. Yes.
What if you don't have those words?
Then you create a line, create a simple line that you love somebody and repeat them. Supposing you have somebody you love, take the name and say, I love that person's name, I love that person, and use them and concentrate on listening to these. The main secret is how attentively you listen to your own words, that your mind is speaking. That will give you an example of that you are not the mind. The mind is speaking and you are listening to it attentively. If you can have that experience, you've taken a big step forward in your meditation. Because most people I meet, they've been meditating for years, just repeating words like a parrot, and never try to find out that the purpose of repetition is to concentrate your attention, pull it inside your head. So if you have this experience of carefully, attentively, deliberately listening to the words in your head, you'll make progress. Okay? Are you ready? Close your eyes. Imagine that this body of yours is a house in which your soul lives, your mind lives. And you are living in this house which has several floors. The 6th floor of this house is behind your eyes. Step up to the 6th floor. See that all the 5 floors below you are empty. You are not there. You are only in the 6th floor behind the eyes. Settle yourselves comfortably in the center of the space that you have behind the eyes in the head. And do not go lower than the eye level. Stay at the eye level. Settle yourselves comfortably, relaxing, no pressure, no struggle. Just relax that you are there in the center of the head. And then start the repetition very slowly, listening to what you are saying. If you find that you miss the words, make it a little louder. Raise the volume, but listen carefully. Do not divert your attention to anything else except the listening of the words and staying in the center of your head. Stay in the center, don't move forward. Behind the eyes. Don't touch the eyes, go back. Ignore any images that come in front of you. Let them come and go. Ignore them. Don't pay any attention to the colors, lights, faces that come in front of you. Listen to the words. Stay awake. Stay in the center. Listen to the words. No other thought. Dismiss all other thoughts. Think only about the words. No other thoughts, please. Only words. Ignore the images. Ignore the lights and colors. Stay in the center. Keep your eyes closed till I count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes and welcome back. Welcome back. You can rub your face if you like, your arms, if you feel that they went to sleep. Sometimes it happens. Your knees and your legs. How many of you enjoyed this session, that you would like to do it again? Right? That's good. It's a good class. How many of you were able to listen to your own words of repetition? Very good. How many of you saw other images in front of you while you were trying to do this? How many of you are drawn towards those images? That's what we have to avoid to make further progress. Okay? Yeah. How many of you saw light during this experience? Very good. You will automatically see the light if you concentrate at the center of your head. Some of you tried to put pressure on your eyes to feel that they are behind. No pressure is needed. It's an imaginary exercise. You have just to feel this is your body, that's your head, and you imagine you're there. If pressure starts, it becomes physical and then becomes more difficult to concentrate. So it is not a physical exercise. It's an exercise in imagining you are in the head at this point, and that you are sitting inside the head with the ears around you, eyes in front of you. Then you can center much better. Otherwise, what happens when you try to center yourself in relation to the eyes, you don't move back enough. You think you have. And the tendency to see, because you have the tendency to see with your eyes open, you have a tendency to see with the eyes closed. So it becomes a pressure to see what's in front, and that takes you away from the center. There are a few little snags like that that come when we are practicing this meditation. But with practice, you will overcome all of them. And when you have questions, if you are stuck anywhere, if you have a problem, you must ask questions and say, I have a problem, how do I move forward? You'll get an answer. So this is not a one-time message to build faith or something. It's a practical way of discovering who you are. And therefore, it's very scientific. What I am talking has own science of consciousness. The rules apply as strongly to the science of self-discovery as they would apply to any empirical science that we are studying. So that is why I don't think it is just a voodoo stuff, or that it's just a blind faith that you have to go and see something. You imagine hearing your words.
Just hearing, but
Yeah.
you're not supposed to.
That's the next step.
Okay.
First step, if you can hear yourself repeating words, you will automatically start seeing things, and the next step will be how not to disturb your center and still keep on seeing. That's step 2. So we only did the very initial first step today. So when we have a meditation workshop, like we're having in September for 3 days, 9th, 10th and 11th of September, we're having a meditation workshop. We'll go through more stages of meditation so that you can experience more of what lies inside. It still needs practice and takes time. And as I said earlier, a rapid jump into an experience is not always the best way to go. So it should be gradual opening. Gradually you see this, gradually you see more, gradually you hear more, and as it develops, the way our mind is made up, that we can very quickly catch up if we go on part of the way. We don't take the same time to go to that point. So supposing we have begun to see the white light coming up every time we go inside, it will take just a few minutes to see the white light after we practice, and we move from there forward. First time it may take years to get the white light, and then it takes a few minutes. So time frame changes for all these experiences. Okay? Any other question or comment? Either you understood everything I said or all went above the head. It could be one of the two, no question, no comment. Okay? You raised your hands, so I'm sure that you had some good practice and you'll be able to handle meditation as a scientific thing. The other thing is, meditation should be done regularly. If you do it sporadically once in a while, then you lose the trend. You also lose what you gained, because the attention is so divided with other things in the world that you have had some hard time pulling the attention back, and you got used to pulling the attention back in the head, and then for some days, some weeks, some months, you don't do it, then it's all scattered all over again. And then it's almost like starting all over again. So that's why regular meditation, preferably every day, more preferably twice a day, once in the early morning and once before going to bed. If you can do a short session before going to bed, it changes the pattern of your sleep and your dreams. And if you get up early morning and have a longer session, that keeps the great day a great day. The whole day becomes a great day. And try it out, you'll find the big difference it makes to the whole day. So this meditation, a larger section in the morning. The first step is, of course, to hear your own words. And when you begin to hear other sounds inside, then you can give up the words and just listen to those sounds. How many of you could today, while you are trying to listen to the words, also see that the sounds are coming in? Very good. The sounds will come automatically. The concentration on the words leads to the discovery that sounds are coming in. We are so much used to listening to sounds outside with these ears, we sometimes don't identify those sounds. Once you start listening to the sounds inside and listen for a few months, you will listen to them all the time, whether you're meditating or not. Even when you're walking, talking, doing other things, the sounds will be there, you'll be conscious of them. But they will not interfere with anything outside. You can hear a very large sound inside of the bell ringing, and you can drop a pin, you can hear the pin drop also at the same time. The two do not clash with each other. That sound, it does not interfere with the listening to the sounds outside with these ears. So that is why the sounds then remain always with you. And it's a great experience to carry the sound with you. Why? Because it makes meditation extremely simple. You just sit, close your eyes, you're meditating. Indeed, later on you don't even close your eyes. You can just put your attention on the sound that is already there, and you begin to rise to another consciousness. Whether your eyes are open or closed doesn't matter. So, Bibi Raj was with Bibi Lajo. She demonstrated to a friend of mine, Clarence Winston, when we visited India, how you can meditate with your eyes open. So she kept her eyes open and meditated and showed that it's very easy to do it. Once you have got to the stage where the sound is automatically coming, at least the sound of the bell, the other sounds also. The bell expands, the bell sound itself expands to other sounds, and you move from one to the other. It always gives the feeling that the second sound is behind the first sound, that somebody is playing a music here, and there's sound being played behind it at a little distance. Then a little behind that is another sound. When you select a particular sound, the one that is closer to you begins to become dull and disappears, and the other sound becomes stronger. So it's a good art. Meditation is also an art, and you can artfully gain access to all these experiences. This is meditation with a spirit that has gone. It is somebody else's soul who was a relative in the past, in a past life, and that is still whispering to you. She is hearing the whisper. Many of you will even see the face. You will see during meditation faces of people you have never seen in the world outside. They are all coming from the past. During meditation, our attention can pick up a lot of things from the past, even past lives, even way back past lives. So when these whispers come, it's somebody whispering who was known to her, and it may be way back. Sometimes people have heard whispers in languages that are today almost extinct. I heard a person who had a whisper in the head during meditation was speaking Pali language, extinct for a long time. Sanskrit replaced it thousands of years ago. And once they told me what the sound was like, I saw it was a Pali language being used. Sometimes these experiences come outside, sometimes they come inside. So in a way, it's a meditation, but it's a meditation which draws her attention to past lives. I can explain more details of whose voice it is privately. Okay. Can even tell you how she hears and whose voice it is. Okay. She mentioned that you can have sights and sounds both. The sounds of waterfalls is very common, but they are all light falling. You will see there's not water, but it looks like a waterfall. There are different colors that they flow, and it's a beautiful sight. And you see them in many colors. You see them in pink and blue and all range of rainbow colors that they flow like the waterfall is flowing. And that's an early experience that comes up as you center yourself more and rise into the astral stage. These experiences we are talking about all come at the first higher level of consciousness than the physical. The physical level is what is giving us physical experience outside. The astral level, which is the next higher level, gives you all these other sensory experiences, beautiful sights and sounds, colors so deep that you've never seen them before in this physical universe. Some of the colors are the same that you see here, they are so much deeper and so brilliant, and some of the colors are shining. That means as if they lit up, the light is coming. So beautiful sights you will see in meditation, and it's good to see those, because then the mind gets attracted to them, and once the mind is satisfied that there's something good you can enjoy, then the mind does not come in the way to distract you and throw you out all the time, but begins to join you in going in the journey inside yourself. So some of these attractions are good. For higher meditation, these attractions can be a hindrance also, because they can hold you up at that level, because you're enjoying them so much that you don't move forward at all. There's so much aesthetic beauty in the astral plane that many people have been meditating and staying there only because they were attached to that. Like they were attached to things in this world, they had difficulty to get out of this, now they are attached to the astral world, and they don't think there's anything beyond that. So they begin to, so the masters in those cases have to work hard sometimes to close the scene for them, draw a curtain as it were, say move on. When they move on, then they say we'll open the lower curtain on your way back to the physical universe. When you open your eyes, then you will see in between the opening of eyes will show you a glimpse of what you missed. But the higher experience is so much better that then you don't mind the experience that you missed. It's an interesting development. A perfect living master is with you all the time in these higher journeys inside, and that is why you are never left alone to search things and find out where you are. That master, you will find, has gone over this journey millions of times before, and you are going as if you are going the first time. After a while you realize you have been there before. Some deja vu comes back that you have been there before, but you forgot. And must have been a long time back that you saw those things again. It gives you a feeling you have been there back. The truth is you have been there before you ever came here. You've been through all the experiences, including your true home. And therefore, the experiences open up and bring our memories back of the higher experiences, not only memories of past lives. But the meditation does open up the doors to past life, regressions also. And you are able to remember many things of previous lives which you cannot otherwise remember while you are awake. So it's a good example what you're given, and you do have those experiences. Well, we have wonderful trees and fruits in the astral plane. One tree has all the fruits. There is one tree there in the astral plane that has all the fruits that we have here. And there are some trees that have a few of the fruits. And there are experiences which are combined with a lot of experiences we separate out here. As you go higher up, you find that all the experiences are joined together. We are separating them over here. Now we say one tree can produce one fruit. There you see one tree can produce 4 fruits. You see another tree that can produce 20 fruits. Another tree that can produce all the fruits of the world. So it's experience that keeps on growing, and you discover the true nature of creation of the trees here. I will give a bigger answer. Okay. Any other question or comment? You can be meditating all the time if you're thinking of the Master all the time. You can be meditating all the time if the Simran repetition goes on automatically all the time. You're meditating all the time, you'll be listening to the sound all the time. And that's a great thing. Great Master used to say, if you meditate 2.5 hours in 24 hours, that's not enough. 21.5 hours you're putting on other things, and 2.5 hours you're putting in this. What kind of scale is this? The scale will tip towards your attention going in the world, because you're giving the world 21.5 hours and giving 2.5 hours to the spiritual path. That's not enough. So how you should change the scale? The scale is changed that the practice that we are talking of actual meditation, may be 2.5 hours, but the rest of the time we can still keep on repeating the words. That's as good as meditation. What about sleeping at night? I mentioned to you that if you have half an hour of meditation before you go to sleep, the meditation will continue in the dream state, and you'll be meditating all night long, even when you are sleeping. So that takes care of many more hours. Then, while you are doing your business at work, you may be going to your office, you may be going to a place of work, you may be running a show, running whatever your job is. When you go to the job and think the job has been given to you by your Master, you are meditating. When some good thing happens, you say, thank Master, I can see you are doing it. You are meditating. When bad thing happens, you say, Master, thank God it was not worse. You are meditating. So if you do like this, Great Master said, if you follow these instructions, you'll be meditating 21.5 hours every 24 hours. Only 2.5 hours you may separate your attention to give attention to some intellectual, mental thing that has come in front of you, and you have to concentrate so much that you can't remember. But that's good meditation. 21 hours, 21.5 hours of meditation, 2.5 hours given to the world. So he said, you can reverse it. So all this is meditation. Meditation is not a mechanical thing. It's not a hatha yoga, the yoga of stubbornness, that I am going to get this thing. It's a method of developing your love and devotion for something. And when you love somebody, you are meditating. If you're constantly missing somebody, you're meditating. So it is different. So you can convert your life into a life of meditation with the experience of missing somebody, thinking about somebody, and thanking, and sometimes complaining. Supposing you don't like something, you complain to your Master. Master, I don't like this stuff. Why are you doing this to me? It's meditation. You're still thinking of the Master. So when you are thinking of that, it's as good as meditation, because all this adds up. When you go above the mind, you find that the love and devotion that took you to the state above the mind was created by these very things. So that's why it's all meditation. Okay. Any other comment? Question? Answer? Okay. Well, I am very happy we could all get together again here, and I have to leave for Wisconsin now. That's why I will not do any more social interaction, like asking somebody to go to a happy place or things like that, or to go into a restaurant for something, for an afterglow or something. We'll do it some other time. And don't forget, meditation should not make you into a highly orthodox person steeped in religious ritual. If you start making this meditation into a ritual, there's no difference between religion and spirituality then. It's the same thing. Take it easy, take it like a natural gift you have got, which you can use whenever you want, and you have got an opportunity to live with meditation. Use this life as a place, carnival. This is a place for having fun, not a place to always go into suffering and mental suffering and regrets and guilt and all that stuff, and fear and doubt. That messes up the fun of this life. Therefore, have more knowledge, more clarity of why we are here, what's going on. Once you know that, this place also becomes heaven and becomes a place for fun. So, enjoy yourself. Meditation is not come to make you suffer, it's come to make you have fun and enjoy yourself here and hereafter. Because you know that your suffering here is entirely because of ignorance, unawareness. You're not aware what's going on. You're not aware who you are. You're not aware why you are here. You're not aware why this show is taking place like this. The moment you get that awareness, it changes the whole thing, and you find that you are watching a movie, watching a stage show in which your body is merely a character like every other body. That you are not that body. It's just one character in the play, and you are watching from somewhere else, inside the body, but not of the body. You are not the body watching the show. The body is acting in the show, and you are watching from behind the scenes in a comfortable chair, and you never leave that chair. You just watch the show. The whole life changes just with the process of spiritual meditation and spiritual path. I wish you all success. God bless you.